So, according to L.J. Ellis of Spurs Talk, I believe, link is in the description, Poeltl is on the move. So, a Spurs insider tells L.J. Ellis of Spurs Talk that starting center Jakob Poeltl, who you guys know if you've been following my channel, I believe he's probably the fifth best defensive center, at least in the NBA. There's like only a handful of guys, and the guys that are in front of him are in that like all defensive caliber. Like Miles Turner's a little bit is better than him. Joel's better than him. Like I think he's at Miles Turner's level, Jakob Poeltl. And if Miles Turner was fetching allegedly 2 first-round picks, I think he'd go get that. Guys, like and subscribe for 150 videos a month regarding every single team. Only 6% of you are subscribed. 94% aren't. Do that. We're almost at 10,000. Let's hit it. So, with that being said, now that Aiden is back on the Suns, the market for Jakob Poeltl should begin to heat up. Josh Richardson is also actively being shopped by the Spurs and could find a new soon rather than later. So, L.J. Ellis says that supposedly what he's found through investigations is that there are opportunities to include Poeltl and or Richardson in a mega trade involving either the likes of Irving, Durant, or Mitchell. By adding Poeltl and Richardson to the trade results, this would net the Spurs an unprotected pick in return. That type of deal takes a priority for them as they are rebuilding. So this is a great example written by L.J. Ellis right here. For example, the Brooklyn Nets wanted Poeltl and Richardson as part of the 3-teaming trade involving Irving to the Lakers. The Spurs would be willing to do that as long as they're compensated with sufficient draft capital, preferably an unprotected pick, because as you guys saw with the Rudy Gobert trade, it broke the pick system. A lot of NBA insiders and stuff kind of raised the question: are the Thunder and the Rockets don't have as many, but the Thunder have a lot of protected picks. Are those value now slashed in half? For a while, we were all like, oh my God, they have those picks. But arguably, if you have a protected pick, fuck it. Who cares? That's really 2 years, 3 years. How many years away will we actually see that pick? People want unprotected picks. They want it now. Those have a lot more value. And we could see where Russell Westbrook gets traded to the Spurs, send Poeltl and Richardson to the Nets, Irving to the Lakers. They get 1 or 2 picks, maybe 1 protected and 1 unprotected. And they open up and they buy out Russell Westbrook and they're Gucci. And the Spurs were actually hoping that they could get DeAndre Ayton allegedly from L.J. Ellis, but supposedly that's not happening. And now, look, I think it's basically, from what L.J. Ellis is saying, just keep a lookout for the Spurs to be involved in a mega trade where they send, I bet you Doug McDermott wasn't mentioned in this article that I saw. And from the looks of it, not that I don't think, but I truly believe that Doug McDermott won't be on the roster. He could be. He's the most likely out of the vets, but I think he's the guy who doesn't. And, you know, for me, I just think they got to get rid of him, okay? Like, they need the shooting, but he's an older player. They can get a second-round pick for him at least. So imagine, I think Doug McDermott, Josh Richardson, and Jakob Poeltl could be involved, all 3 of them, all the vets on this team. Anyone who isn't on a rookie contract or a cheap contract could go. I could see a few players going to the Nets and a few players going to the Lakers if this was an Irving trade, of course. But yeah, I think, and another thing is look, Poeltl averaged this past year almost 14 points, almost 10, basically a double-double, almost 14 points and almost 10 rebounds a game with 3 assists. He's an underrated passer, great from the elbow, 1.5 blocks. And the thing is he's 7'1" with a huge wingspan, and he's got this great drop coverage and rim protection anticipation. He's actually a 63% field goal percent shooter in his career and holds a respectable 108 defensive rating per 100 percentage. And you guys know I've always been high on him. And look, and Mike Malone of the Nuggets said he's one of the most underrated players in the league. And according to StatMuse, Poeltl was tied with Robert Williams for third in the entire NBA for offensive rebounds per game with 3.9. The highest was Bobby Portis, even though Steven Adams led the league and Jarrett Vanderbilt was in second. Just saying. And the thing is, he's a great screen guy. He's great inside. He's honestly, again, yeah, he has no three-point shot, but look, I think the numbers, I think 2 picks, 1 protected, 1 unprotected to the road to go. Let me hear your thoughts. That's basically it. I do have an NBA show and an NFL channel. I'm actually making a Niners video today. So if you're a Niners fan, go check that video out. Link is in the description to my NFL channel, and an NBA show daily Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. Central Time, which is 7:30 Pacific a.m. and 10:30. It's 10:30 Eastern Time. I'm baked.